All right, what's up, reviewers? This is Smooth the Reviewer, and today I'm gonna be giving you guys a very long overdue video. Like this video is like so far overdue that like I don't even want to get into like why it's so long overdue. I just didn't have like really the energy to like make the video, and then like I just I just messed up, guys. So, anyways, if for those of you who aren't aware, like I a long time ago, not a long time ago, but like a few months ago, I made a video analyzing Classroom of the Elite Year 2 Volume 9.5, and basically I talked about how a lot of people thought that volume wasn't really the best volume, but I basically talked about how I think it was still, I can agree that it wasn't like the most like enjoyable volume to like read or like the best, but it was still an important volume because it gave us like important character interactions, especially like with the class A people. So like Hashimoto, Kito, and Kamuro. I talked about how I think it was good that we finally got to like interact like directly with more class A people, because before then it was kind of like class A was just this class that we didn't really explore too much about the other characters. Like honestly, the only people in Class A who got love were Katsuragi at the start, Sakai and Nagi, obviously, and then Hashimoto. Those were like the three important people from Class A, but that was it. Like Kamuro and Kito, they weren't really that important that much. And so that's kind of what I wanted, you know? I wanted to see like other class A people and Kamuro and Kita. I wanted to see them like, you know, interact with them. At least Ainakoji interact with them and help let us meet more members, because we know, because think about it, at the time we knew everyone from class, from Horikita's class. We knew a bunch of people from Ryuin's class, and we knew a fair amount of people from like Ichinose's class too, but not too many, honestly, kind of on the same level as class A. But still, even then, in these recent volumes, that's all starting to change, you know? If you've been reading the recent volumes ever since year 2 volume, I guess I should say like 9 and forward, we've been getting a lot more interactions with like other classes and getting to know a bunch more new people, and I'm so glad about that. And so getting getting back on track, I'm pretty sure I told you guys that I was going to make a review of year 2 volume 10. I don't know if I said that in my point 9.5 analysis video, or the video where I reviewed the first two episodes of season 3, which was a fairly good season in my opinion. You know, I think it's worth checking out. But I think I mentioned in that video that I was going to give you guys a review of this volume on screen, year 2 volume 10, and I never fulfilled my promise with that. So this is me fulfilling that promise and just going to basically talk about it. And I don't think I'm going to go through everything, I'm not sure, but like I am going to touch on like everything that I pretty much liked. Like hopefully this will be a more so positive video, and I won't have like too many negative things to say. I'll just, like I said, I'll just give my thoughts and how I felt about it. So, year 2 volume 10, this is the first special exam volume that I have read since reading the light novels. I mean, technically we had a special exam in year 2 volume 9. So if you guys don't remember, I started reading from year 2 volume 8. That was my starting point with the light novels. And so then year 2 volume 9 came around, and there was a special exam in that, but it was nowhere near the focus of the volume at all. So like, you know, that I guarantee you, like, as will people will forget that there was a special exam in that volume as time goes on, because it was so much the background of the volume. But it didn't detract from it for me, because my girl Ichinose had the spotlight in that volume, and y'all know that I love her, you know. So that was technically the first special exam volume, but like not really. It was, like I said, wasn't the focus. So this volume is like where a serious special exam with stakes in it, and it being the focus of this volume, the first one that I've read. So if you remember from my videos, I was hyped for this volume. I was very hyped for this volume. And now after reading it completely, well, I've been done reading it for a long time now, but after reading it, I will say my rating out of 10, it was a solid 7 out of 10. So 7.5 out of 10, I think it was a good volume. It was a good volume overall. I enjoyed reading it throughout the entire thing, not too many like negative things to say about it, which hopefully I'll get to later. But yeah, I enjoyed this volume throughout the whole thing for the most part. Now, okay, so where do I want to begin? So I guess I should start first about talking about like the rules of the special exam. So in this volume, this basically the special exam was how do I describe it? It was the survival and elimination special exam. That's what this special exam is called. And basically, if you haven't read it or don't remember, it's where each class has to choose one leader. Okay, so the leaders were Sakayanagi, obviously, Ichinose, Ryuin, and Horikita, who took the role as leader for Class B in this volume. So basically, the leaders had to choose 5 people that the school would give questions to, and then depending on like the amount of points you have, you can increase the difficulty of the question, and it basically goes in a round robin order. So Class B basically attacked 5 people from Class A. So they had to choose 5 people to give questions to and then select a subject and then the difficulty level. So B attacks A attacks C, and C attacks D, and D. Or wait, I think I got that all wrong. Oh my god, my bad. No, B attacks A attacks D attacks C, and C attacks B. There we go. Oh my gosh, I messed that up. Anyways, so that's basically what this special exam was. And so it wasn't not the most like hands-on special exam, I will say. That's one thing. So it was basically just another sort of test. I mean, even Chapashira even says it. It's basically they're all just taking quizzes still. So this is not really a special exam where the characters are like interacting with each other that much on like a physical level. So that's one thing. I think because I think a lot of people really want some more action in the series, because like right now there hasn't really been too many, like, I guess I'll go ahead and say fights or hands-on interactions with like the recent special exam, where like they're having to fight each other or anything like that. I don't know how to describe it, but that's honestly fine. That didn't really take away from the enjoyment, and I'll talk about that later on in the video. I'll talk about it later. But anyways, let's get to these illustrations here. So this first illustration we have here is of Horikita, and she's sitting with Ayana Koji, and this is one of the highlight moments of this volume, at least for a lot of people. It was Horikita got Ayana Koji to smile. And if you know this series, or watch the anime even, you know that this man has never once smiled. Or, I mean, I think in the anime people call him smiling like twice, but like, whatever. It's like whatever. In the light novel, we're talking about the light novels. I don't know why I'm talking about the anime. In the light novels, he's never been. I don't think it's until this point. I don't think it's ever been stated that he smiled, or at least Horikita has never seen him smile, and the reason that he smiles is because they're basically at the cafe and they're drinking some coffee and all that, and the reason they're at the cafe is because Ayana Koji is kind of like questioning Horikita about basically what strategy she's gonna use in the special exam. Like, is she willing to actually get people eliminated and potentially expelled? Oh yeah, and that's another thing. So like, if you answer 3 questions wrong in the exam, then you're eliminated and you're put up for expulsion. So basically, the class that finishes last has to choose anyone who is eliminated to be expelled, just one person, okay? And that's basically what they're talking about here. Like, is she willing to let someone like Ibuki get expelled, even though they've been getting close to one another? So that's why they're here and talking in the cafe. But then eventually the mood begins to get lighter, and then they end up, having like a little funny moment with one another, and Horikita sees Ayana Koji smile. So yeah, this is a first from any character in Classroom of the Elite, and this was, yeah, definitely one of the highlights of this volume for a lot of people. For me, honestly, I don't really care for these interactions with Horikita that much. I'm gonna be straight honest with you guys. I I haven't really been the biggest fan of Horikita in this series, but I can still acknowledge that she's like obviously a very important person. Well, I don't even know if I should say important person to Anakoji, but she's a very important character, and she has played a significant role in his life. That's a fact. He's played a significant role in his life. So yeah, I can understand why this was a highlight for a lot of people. But then moving past that, then we get this illustration, and you can already tell I'm happy for this because this was a highlight of the volume for me. Okay, so basically Ichinose wanted to talk to Anakoji about the special exam also, and so basically he ends up Anakoji ends up letting like Kanzaki, Amikura, Watanabe, and Ichinose. Basically, they're all in his room and they talk for a little bit, and that conversation didn't go anywhere. If the book even says it didn't go anywhere. But then later on, Ichinose leaves her phone in his room, and so she comes back, and then they have this little intimate moment right here where you can see this girl is, oh my gosh, she wants this man so badly, bro. She accidentally tumbles into him and then like puts her head on his like chest and all that. And I'm loving it. I loved it. I love the scene. I loved it but then unfortunately Watanabe comes in the room, and it's like this whole dramatic moment. So I thought this was another a good moment because Watanabe ends up sharing a story about how he was betrayed by his best friend. And if you guys don't remember, like, Watanabe is basically, he likes Amikura, and he's basically been seeking advice from Ayana Koji ever since year 2 volume 8 when they went on the trip with one another, I think. So I think a lot of people kind of just like maybe skim past this moment and didn't think of it as much, but I think this is a very good moment because like the fact that Watanabe like told them both about this, and like the fact that Watanabe came back just to talk to him, it's like, Watanabe really trusts, Ayana Koji, and really is starting to like, he really like likes him and wants to, maybe, and who knows, maybe they'll be like, good friends in the future, who knows. But yeah, I enjoyed this scene thoroughly too, and I can't wait for more. I cannot wait for more. So now let's actually get back to the special exam. So, no, I don't. Morishita's in this volume. That was cool. She had some more time to shine. She's this volume. She's still not really cared for that much, for me at least. But you gotta take time building up your characters and all that. So yeah, skipping past that, let's get back to the actual special exam. So Basically, I'm gonna just tell you guys straight up. Basically, what ends up happening is basically the classes Class A loses. Okay, that's what happens. Class A loses, and basically what happened is classes B, C, and D, they basically team up. And I think that is something that I don't know if many people are really acknowledging. The fact that classes, well, first, Ryuen and Ichinose, they ended up like teaming together because Ryuen already had a plan. You know, he already had a plan to like win the special exam because he was like, they were down. By the time the halftime came, Ryuen's class was in dead last. But then he ended up having a plan in the end, and I'll talk about that in a minute. But during the second round, basically Ichinose, and this is another great illustration, Tomase. You're so good. The illustrator of Class of the Elite is so talented. So so basically, Ichinose contacts Ryuen during the second half and is like, "Hey, can you please not expel any of my classmates?" Because Ichinose, she's still holding on to that belief that she wants to get to Class A with everyone. And I think some people see it as like a bad thing. She has to be willing to let people go. And I can agree with that too. But I still think it's a good thing that like no matter what, she's not gonna change the fact that she wants everyone to stay. I'm glad the author isn't necessarily like. I mean, I get that she does need to change. I feel like the author did a good job at making Ichinose get stronger. So like from volume 9, year 2, volume 9, she went on the date with Ayana Koji and basically, refueled her passion to get back to Class A. So that was good. So I appreciate how the author basically like made it seem like, hey, she's gotten stronger, but she still has her moral values and all that. She's still the same girl that wants to reach Class A with all of her classmates and like loves all of them. So I think that was pretty good. But but I think it definitely it'll be interesting if someone from her class does eventually get expelled, and I'll talk about that in a minute too. But basically, one thing I didn't mention about the rules is also the leader can choose 5 people to defend. Okay, so basically the way points are earned as are so remember, the leader picks 5 people, and whoever answers it wrong, that's 1 point. But then the class that's attacking that leader's class, they get to defend 5 people, and if they defend 5 people good, then that's and if they're right about their defense, that's also plus 1 point for each. Okay? So basically, what Ichinose says here to Ryuen is that she's going to give him points so that in an exchange, he's not going to eliminate any of her classmates. So I thought this was like really good because last volume 9.5, remember, that was like the first time, the very end, Ichinose and Ryuen talked to each other. And that was the first time that we've seen them interact in who knows how many volumes. I even said it before that volume came out. I thought that Ichinose and Ryuen hadn't interacted with each other in forever. But then they finally did in volume 9.5, and in this volume, they're basically straight up teamed. They straight up teamed up to give themselves a better chance at winning. And I thought and I was like, heck yeah, this is like what it's like crazy. You never think that Ichinose and Ryuen would like team up because usually it's Horikita and Ryuen's class teaming up. That's usually how it is, and then it's usually like Class A and then Ichinose's class teaming up, like with the Island exam. So this is the first time we're seeing B. Well, I gotta stop. I gotta stop saying like their letters. So this is the first time Ichinose and Ryuen are teaming up. But then eventually, where's it at? Where's it at? Boom. Then eventually, basically, Horikita gets involved. Okay, so what happens is that once Ryuen and Ichinose team up, and then they start gaining points like rapidly. Ichinose starts attacking Kei, but then Horikita is obviously going to keep defending her, and that's basically giving Class B more points, Horikita's class, and it all ends with Class A finishing last. So why did Class A finish last? So this is what I was gonna mention earlier. Hashimoto betrayed Class A. He betrayed Sakayanagi and basically gave Ryuin all the points, basically. So Ryuin did win this special exam, which I thought was like crazy, like because I got spoiled by it and I was kind of annoyed a little bit, but like it's whatever, So Ryuin ends up winning this whole special exam, and it's because of Hashimoto, because Hashimoto used a cell phone to basically tell Ryuin like all of the picks, all of the people that Sakayanagi was going to attack. And so Ryuin basically defended flawlessly for like the second half of the exam, for the second like whole 10 questions they got. And he ended up coming in first. Ryuin won. He won. And then Class A got last. So this kind of blew my mind a little bit. Like, this didn't really make sense, I don't think, to some people, because like why would you do that? This was like kind of, at first we were kind of all like, this is like a stupid move by Hashimoto's part. Like, why would you betray Sakayanagi? Like, you're in Class A. So it didn't make sense. But like then eventually Sakayanagi like obviously catches Hashimoto here, because he's just like bad at like lying, I guess, and like bad at like he's a bad traitor, basically. He's bad at like keeping like his secret of being a traitor. So he basically explains that like the reason he betrayed the class was because he wants Ayana Koji. He wants Ayana Koji to come to Class A, and because Sakayanagi obviously wasn't going to listen to that. And I do understand. I kind of understand why this happened, because in the recent volumes, Sakayanagi hasn't really been listening to Hashimoto. Like, for example, in Year 2, Volume 9, he thought that they should sabotage Class B because he thought they would win. Sakayanagi didn't really listen to that, and then they ended up losing, And then, obviously, Sakayanagi would never let Ayana Koji come to Class A because she wants to fight him. So she wasn't going to listen to him on that. So this was supposed to be his way of just like waking her up and like telling her that that Class A is falling behind and they're going to get surpassed, which is pretty much the trend that's happening right now. Because Class A came in last and they lost 100 class points. So first place got 100 class points, and then second and third got minus 50, and then last place got minus 100. So there was only one winner in this special exam, and I thought that was pretty good. That was one of the things that hyped up this volume 2, is that only one class would actually gain points, the other would lose it. So this was a really important special exam. I think, so perhaps maybe in the grand scheme of things, this was a really important special exam, because Ryuin winning this and then making all the other classes lose points was pretty good. But this also means that Class A and B are even closer, Horikita and Sakayanagi, because Horikita's class only lost 50, and Sakayanagi's class lost 100. And remember, Horikita's class already beat them in Year 2, Volume 9, so they gained 50 class points there. So, yeah, Class A, I'm pretty sure the volume mentioned, they're like almost like a little less than 100, or like 100 or so class points away. So Class A really is falling like dramatically, which is like crazy, But obviously with this, Sakayanagi just gets really mad at Hashimoto and says that she's basically gonna expel him for what he did, for being a traitor. And Hashimoto is over here like, nah, not if I betray you first. But it's like, bro, no, does anyone really think that Hashimoto can beat Sakayanagi? Literally no one. No, I don't think a single person would believe that. But anyways, to kind of getting to the very end of this volume, though, who got expelled? this is the last thing I want to talk about. Kamuro gets expelled, and I was not expecting that. So if you guys remember, so if you watch my video on 9.5 analysis, I predicted that no one in Class A would be expelled. That was my prediction. I didn't believe anyone from Class A could be expelled because like I said at the time, I still felt like I needed more from them. I needed more story from like Class A people in general, you know? So Kamuro being expelled here basically, I guess, proved me wrong. You know, my prediction was wrong. I didn't think Kamuro would be expelled, but they ended up like drawing lots at the end. And you know, Sakai Nagi, she didn't protect Kamuro at all. You know, it came down between Yamamura and Kamuro, and basically Sakai Nagi was like, y'all are equal. Y'all are both equally beneficial to me. I don't give a crap about either of you really. And basically Kamuro ended up being expelled, but Anakoji later tells her that that was a mistake because obviously Kamuro meant a lot. Like Kamuro has been there since from the beginning for her. And then Sakai Nagi was just like, nah, I don't care if you get expelled. You know, you hold the same value as as those background characters. Like there, it was Kamuro, Yamamura, and then three guys. And Sakai Nagi had the nerve to say that Kamuro was just as valuable as the three guys that could have been expelled also. And that's which is just like crazy. Like if I heard that from someone that I've been helping out, that I've basically been, because remember Kamuro is basically her right hand man. I've been your right hand man from the start, and you just say that I'm as valuable as those background characters. Nah, bro, that's crazy. But then another thing I want to talk about is how Kamuro is the only one expelled. So remember, I said only one person can be expelled, and it ended up being only Kamuro, which I thought was a little weird too. You know, I expected more expulsions, but I guess since Year Two, Volume 12 is about to come out, you know, maybe we'll see more in that volume. But I thought it was kind of weird that there was only like one expulsion in this volume, even though Kinugasa said like a lot of people would potentially be expelled or like things would get harsh. So I figured we'd get like because I remember I predicted we'd get like Chihiro expelled, we'd get like Tokido expelled, we'd get um like Ike or Shinohara or Sato getting expelled. You know, yeah, oh, there was like so many people before this volume. There were like so many people who had the potential, who people thought could just, you know, you could just expel them. You know, it'd be sad, but you know, a necessary expulsion because that's one of the problems that Classroom Elite is having right now. You know, no one is getting expelled. It's kind of just everything's just been working out for the second years, and you know, Sakura, even though Sakura just got expelled, you know, Sakura, you know, her role in the story was very minimal too, up until that point, you know. So yeah, so one of the problems was like, you know, we need more expulsions. We need to see that this school that these characters are actually in threat of expulsion, you know? And it's not just like once every like what 20 or so volumes that someone gets, or like once in every 12 or so volumes someone gets expelled. Like nah, we need more people out of here, man. We need more people out of here because it also gives way to greater character progression from like all the classes. Any class that has an expulsion, it's like that's where you get the character development from, you know? But you know, but so far that hasn't been happening that much recently. But you know, I think Kamuro being expelled, I don't really like it, you know, because like I said, I feel like I could have gotten a lot more from her. I personally feel like Kinugasa could have chosen any of the other characters that I named just now, you know, like Sato or you know, or like Tokido. Maybe not Tokido. He's like kind of as useless as Kamuro. I don't know. But yeah, maybe someone from class B, or maybe Chihiro like from class from Ichinose's class, because what I was talking about earlier, Ichinose needs to know that someone could still be expelled even though she's trying her hardest. So that would have been very impactful too. But nah, the author went with Kamuro. So not the worst. I guess it's not the worst thing in the world, but like I would have preferred it to be someone else. So because I think that would have been more impactful. But who knows? Year 2 Volume 12 is coming out July 25th, so we will see if anyone gets expelled in that volume, because that's the year-end exam. So I may make a review of Year 2 Volume 11 since that's already out. Maybe y'all would be interested in that. Who knows? Maybe I'll do it in another like few months or so. Who knows? But yeah, that's pretty much, as for this video, that's pretty much it, so I hope you all enjoyed hearing my thoughts, and yeah, thank you so much for sticking to the end. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Peace.